Hats off to a really good Georgia Tech team. Nell's done a great job with that group, both in recruiting and in coaching. We were worried about their best three players. We were worried about their attack on the paint. We were worried about them on the offensive glass. And so the things that we were most worried about, they were able to do to us. So that was, they earned that one 100%. And, just like when we didn't play well enough the last time out, we got a lot better from it. And I'm excited to get back in the gym with this team.
But the boards, particularly the offensive boards, it just killed you most of the game.
Yeah, they weren't free throw line blockouts, right? So they weren't because we were in position and they went over us. It's that we didn't contain the dribble. So when you don't contain the dribble, you have to rotation rebound. We didn't do a good job of that. Just taking that extra step and being more physical. Instead, we turned our heads up and tried to go get it. It's something we've talked about. They haven't made a quick enough adjustment to that. But results have a way of helping teach. So I think when they see those, they will decide how they want to handle them moving forward.
Coach, just off game from Usby, first time she hasn't had a field goal, I think, since her freshman year.
Yeah.
What do you think it was about either her approach or just Georgia Tech's defensive pressure that caused that to happen?
I think it's probably more so Alyssa's excellence, right? We take it so for granted. We just sort of say, if you give someone who's got 10 assists and 8 rebounds and you give me anybody else who has that, we're commending her stat, right? I think it's that Alyssa does so many things for us all the time that when she's not flirting with a triple-double, we're all like, what's wrong with Alyssa? So she didn't shoot the ball enough. She didn't shoot the ball well enough when she did. But I don't think it's definitely not an issue of approach. That kid is as locked in as we'll ever coach. It just, she did other things to help us win and not in the score category.
What did they do against your defense? They scored more than you're averaging giving up by halftime.
Mm-hmm.
What did they expose with your defense and other teams didn't?
Yeah.
What did they do differently?
Even when Tony made her three, she's shooting like 20% from three, right? So I think partly, you got nothing to lose when you're coming in and you're playing on the home floor of another top 15 team. So, some of those were really contested, and they made a lot of really contested shots. Others of them, we didn't have the right coverage, or we didn't defend it well enough. So it's a combination of both. But it wasn't, when it wasn't 50 of those points weren't because we didn't defend them well 25 times. It was some of them were defended well and they made. Some weren't defended well and they made. And really good players that our guys really struggled to guard.
Coach, did you feel like that Georgia Tech dictated the pace in that first half, and do you feel like that offensively is how you wanted to play, or do you feel like you weren't getting the looks or you're settling too early in offensive transition or anything like that?
I don't think I'll hate the shots. I haven't hated the shots most of the year for the most part. So I don't think looking back on it, I'll hate the shots. I think I'll hate our inability to contain, right, to get to outside feet, to rotation rebound, things that an attacking team requires you to do. That's probably the part that I'll hang up on more so than the offense.
India, for the longest time, you played most of the second half with 4 fouls, yet you kept going. Can you talk about how difficult that is, and then the rally that you guys put together in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it just goes down to being more disciplined on defense. I got those early fouls because I was out of position or maybe going for things I shouldn't have been going for, so making sure I was locking back in on discipline and being in the right positions. And then that run that we went on at the end, just I felt like Grace kind of led that at the forefront with being aggressive on the ball, in which we just fed off that energy, and that really helped us towards the end.
Maria, what do you think turned things around there in the fourth quarter?
I think we played with more aggression towards the end of the game. In the fourth quarter, we knew that we were down. We had to we wanted to win that game, obviously. So we knew that we had to, put pressure on the ball and try to turn the ball over. So that's what we were trying to do.
Talking about you, obviously you had success when you got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you didn't see it and then get enough opportunities, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I would say, in the first half, they were really physical all game. But it was me personally, I need to be more aggressive. I feel like in the second half, and that's kind of where I started to score more, started to get ask for the ball more, and that's kind of where I got my most of my points from, being aggressive. Yeah,
I think that's well said. We know Maria's a feature player for us, and All of hers are contested. So her efficiency is remarkable. It really is. It's remarkable. I think it's very Maria not to blame it on her teammates. I think there were times where she needs to continue to be aggressive and recognize that her points per minute is very high. Her points per shot is very high. Easy for me to say because I don't have to play physically in that post position, but what this kid's able to do for us is pretty remarkable. So it's a two-part problem. She's got to continue to be more demanding, and our guys got to continue to find her. But I think she got a lot of looks today. I think we're okay with that. It's the other team was able to create and score with people on them, and Maria was really the only one who was able to do that for us.
What did you do in the fourth quarter that you didn't do in the first three?
Oh, we had to go to pressure. You're down by so many, and so then you're looking to score quick, and look, it's low risk offense at that point, right? It's like you can't play that way when you're tied, right? Because you're like, all right, well, it's high risk, high reward, and all that. I mean, the game was played when we didn't play well enough in the first half to sustain their runs, and they played well. So it's a good team that also played well, right? It's a really good combination. We know to beat ranked teams, you have to be a good team and you have to play well. We are a good team that didn't play well, quite frankly.
For Maria and India, what kind of specifically felt like it was going wrong in terms of like the fast break and in terms of giving up specifically offensive rebounds?
I think like we talked about, like the 1v1, it was hard to kind of contain. They had some good guards that were getting in the paint, winning the paint for them. And when they kicked the ball out and they had the shots, the rotation rebound wasn't, we kind of gave up boards there. But some of them were also hustle rebounds, and I feel like that's where we kind of fell short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Maria. We just didn't match their toughness. They got us into rotation rebounds, and then we weren't finding our man quick enough or being tough enough to pursue the ball.
Coach, I know this is kind of a bigger picture
Mm-hmm.
question to WBC to present, but do you think Georgia Tech is getting enough credit nationally right now?
I mean, I think it depends on who you've played, so what they need is that Mississippi State to play well. Baylor hasn't done great, so it's really how many ranked teams you could beat. So I think now that will help, getting I think it's a really good team, and they'll continue to prove that in our league. But I don't know who they beat that was ranked, who's still ranked, so it's hard to say. Yeah, but I think people will see how good they are now that they have a lot of opportunities against really good teams.
What are the teaching points you'll bring to practice from this game?
Well, we'll watch the film. We'll show. We always use film to show. It's not a lot of we don't talk a ton. We show film and talk through film. So we'll show some breakdowns on the defensive end. And sometimes honestly, the scoreboard teaches you. I think these guys know that they came up short, and it wasn't because of any one thing. It was a few different things that on both ends of the ball. So we'll do it through film, and I'll be able to do that once I chapter it out appropriately in a teaching method.
And just on that note, obviously it's really quick, but for the players, what do you think maybe some of the defensive breakdowns were in today's game?
I'll say we knew that they were going to be aggressive on offense, but our defense just wasn't. I don't think we played tough enough. I think that they kind of played to our weaknesses, and they had a great game. They shot the ball well. They got whatever they wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we matched their intensity or aggression on the defensive end. I know, speaking in the guard position, I felt like we could have probably communicated better on those exchanges on the backside. I think we got a little bit confused there, and yeah, just more on ball. I think containing our man a little bit better on ball.
Any other questions? Great, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.